The group, however, would be enjoying their adventure in the backyard of the world's largest land predator, the polar bear.
In the Arctic, the polar bear is the only land mammal that actually hunts man actively. If they want to hunt you, if they are in predatory mode, you are in serious danger. There's no question about it.
And they're as at home in the water as they are on the ice.
In a race, you'd lose against a polar bear. Usain Bolt would lose against a polar bear in the first 10, maybe 20 meters. So there's no running away from them.
To survive the perils of the Arctic, one requires the advice of a seasoned explorer. Jim McNeill's training course teaches you to be constantly vigilant when in polar bear territory.
Even I, after 28 years of doing it, need to know what sort of hotspots there are for polar bears, where the highways are, where the open bits of water are, where they're likely to be, because you've got to recognise what behaviour they're exhibiting, and you've got to complement that behaviour that you see from the polar bear. To react in the wrong way could be quite devastating. To use a bit of high ground is very good. To come away from the edge of a glacier is very good. To do a survey of the area to make sure there are no bear hotspots is a very good thing, and that's exactly what you should think about in siting your camp.
The boys arrange their tents in a rough circle.
Pull your weight up.
It's much better to have either a line of tents or a slight semicircle. If the polar bear comes into the camp, it has a chance to get away. It has a chance to turn away and back off. What you don't want is a circle of tents where the polar bear comes into the middle. You then discover the polar bear. He then is panicked and starts lashing out.
As advised, the team erected a tripwire around the camp, rigged with blank shotgun cartridges to act as a bear warning system.
So it's a very simple mechanism. It's sprung-loaded, and the point down here will actually spring and fire off the charge that sits at the bottom there. It's got a safety mechanism, which is a little hole that you put a safety pin through, and this plate sits around that ring, simply like that. And that's attached to the wire like that, and when the wire is pulled... Loud enough? Would that wake you? Yeah. Excellent, good. The problem with tripwires as a deterrent is that they are notoriously unreliable. A polar bear might skip over it, for example, if it's quite used to that sort of situation. He doesn't actually reason that, but they have been known to.
Safe in the knowledge a gun was on site and the tripwire was primed, the boys settled in for another Arctic night.